Welcome back to another video, 71 race team. We are back and we are with the Mustang. Got the Mustang keys right here, and as you guys could see, we are in the garage that recently was built. It's still not finalized, but you know, I'll share details with that or for that in a second. But here is the Mustang. I was going to wash the cars, but unfortunately I will not do that today. And I have the keys. It's been sitting in here for about a week since it's been turned on, and I'm going to see if it actually turns on because the car does die fairly quickly at times. We are going to open the garage door. Don't want to get carbon dioxide poisoning or anything like that. So let's get that open. The light is flashing, so let's see. All right, so the battery is definitely dead. And the jump starter, I think the jump starter is actually over there. Should be fully charged, but apparently it's not. Got it plugged in. Doesn't look super low actually. It's 11.8, so let's just see. While it charges, I'm actually going to head back inside, and then I'll be back once, you know, the car's probably ready, probably in like 10 minutes or so. And yeah, let's just see what happens. It's already at 12, so I'm sure it'll be ready in probably like 5-10 minutes.
10 seconds later.
Here goes nothing. It's been about 15 minutes. Okay, so it's only 12:01, but we'll just see. That means I will need to get an extension cord so I can plug the actual self-starter up since it is dead. I do feel like sometimes when you turn on the car, the battery or the self-starter would automatically charge. But recently I noticed it doesn't do that. So maybe it stopped doing that, but it used to. I'm not really sure, but I will need to plug that in case one of the car dies, since obviously the Mustang dies if you don't turn it on. The Expedition has died a couple of times in recent weeks, so it's good now, but you never know. I haven't seen you guys in several days, and we have a package. Nothing too crazy, but I thought I would shoot it anyways because it is car related. And here goes nothing. So, as you guys know, my wall, which I'll show you guys in a second, basically, what the hell is this? I don't know, this just wrapped really weird, but as you guys will see in a second, and you guys would have seen in previous videos, I have a lot of car stuff on the wall. As you guys can see behind me, we have this Lamborghini poster that pretty much goes through all of the Lamborghinis through almost current dates. It goes all the way through the event store SVJ and the Urus, so pretty up to date. Obviously the poster is a couple years old, so it doesn't include, you know, the Serato and the Revuelto obviously and all those cars, but it is what it is. And then we have a bunch of cars sort of lined up over here and over here, all the way past here, which you guys wouldn't necessarily be able to tell unless you're looking at it closely. But to expand on the wall, I got this. I didn't know it was going to be this like canvas material, but it's pretty decent, I guess. I suppose if I had a frame or something, which I'll probably get, it's a little rolled up, so you can't really tell. But we have the McLaren Senna as the first car in here. You know, I had to put a Lamborghini in here, so there's a Lamborghini Countach. I prefer the later generation, but you know, we have this one. Super cool. And we have this Ferrari GTO. So pretty much classic exotics outside of the Senna. And we have this Pagani Zonda. So 2 modern cars, 2 older cars. Pretty nice material, and the quality looks legit. But I guess I'll need frames. If I knew it was going to be this canvas material, maybe I wouldn't have gotten it. But you know, we'll get some frames to stick it on the wall. This is what the wall currently looks like. We'd have to pretty much figure out where it's going to fit. I might have to reorganize stuff. In reality, that Lamborghini banner and this racing checkered banner was going to go into the garage, which may still happen, I'm not sure. But if it does, then I'll need to figure out how to fill up that space, since there will be a lot of space missing at that point. But yeah, we'll just see where I put it. I might reorganize stuff on that side. Another day in the M5. I did want to take a spin in the Lamborghini today, but I didn't really think too much of it. But I was like, oh, that would be kind of nice, especially with the weather being pretty great in recent days. But you know, we'll just see. We're sort of going to the post office, so I'm running errands of sorts, obviously. So I can't take the Lamborghini, since the last time I did that, or the only time I did that, obviously the car ended up scraping in the driveway of the post office. So unfortunately we cannot do that. How have you guys been? I don't really have anything planned for this drive in terms of topics or anything, but yeah, so M5, do need to get gas. I have about a quarter tank. I've been driving it for several weeks, so it does pretty okay on gas, I guess. I think the tank is just pretty large, so you could run it around for a long time without having to actually pump gas. I think the last time I pumped it was probably over a month ago, if I recall correctly, and I've driven it quite a few times ever since. But regardless, got that. I still have that, not necessarily check engine light, but I do have that alert that basically says I need to check the brake fluid. So I did a little bit of research on it. Some people left comments about it, how the brakes need to be changed. So I'm not really sure exactly what the issue is. I'm not the biggest mechanic in the world. The brakes are actually very grabby, so I don't know if the brakes will need to be changed. They're actually extremely sensitive, so when you barely tap them, you know, could hypothetically jolt if you're not ready for, you know, the brakes, or really understand how grabby they are. So a lot of times I might be, you know, holding myself in place, but I'll brake and it'll kind of grab a lot more than I thought it would. So that happens a lot. So I'm not really sure if the brakes would actually need to be changed, or I literally have a brake fluid issue and need to fill it up. But you know, that's something I need to look into sooner than later, probably. I mean, the alert's like yellow or orange, so it's not as bad as, you know, having a red alert, but need to look into that. Just haven't had the time, especially considering I, you know, don't even go out to use the cars or see the cars very often. So just haven't had the opportunity to look into that. So I need to do that. Recently I started looking at Mustang parts. I believe it was like 2 nights ago I was looking at Mustang parts. As you guys know, I've been thinking about potentially changing a couple of things up and maybe putting Cobra replica parts or actual Cobra parts on the car. You guys have seen how modified it is. The only special part it has is it has a Roush stage 2 spoiler. That's, you know, legit. Everything else is kind of off of American Muscle or something. But yeah, so I've been thinking about maybe replacing the spoiler, putting a Cobra type spoiler, and doing a Cobra type of conversion in terms of its appearance. I was just going to debadge the car altogether, and it won't have Cobra emblems or anything of that nature, but it would have like a Cobra grill, it would have a Cobra bumper, or there would be no grill, because Cobras obviously just have the Cobra emblem in the grill, and there's no actual grill in place. So I'd probably just remove the grill, have no emblem at all. It would have a Cobra bumper, it would have a Cobra spoiler, and that's what I have in mind. I looked at a handful of parts on the other night. As I mentioned, I thought it would be kind of cool to do something similar to the Lamborghini. Obviously, I still have not bought the carbon hood for it, but I was thinking, you know, maybe for the Mustang I get a cowl hood, which is what I've wanted for years now. And, you know, I think probably like a 3-inch cowl hood, and have it be carbon. And then I would get a Cobra like spoiler for the car, and it would also be carbon. So essentially it would kind of have the Lamborghini look with a carbon spoiler, a carbon hood, and then maybe a carbon gaslit as well. And, you know, have legit hood pins going through the carbon hood. I would change up the rear lights, so it would be black, but it would have like a certain design in them, and there would be sequential lights, so that would be cool. I want to redo the exhaust. Originally I was thinking about doing like a Roush setup with the side exhaust, but I'm thinking that maybe I'll just run a quad exhaust to the rear of the car, keep the same bumper, since, you know, Cobra bumpers say Cobra on them, and I don't want to have, you know, a fake Cobra, quote unquote. So we'd probably keep the original bumper for the rear and just run the quad exhaust, because I kind of like that quad exhaust setup on cars. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not 100% sure when I'll do this. Obviously we have milestones to reach on YouTube for the cars, like the twin turbo build. I think it's the only thing related to the Mustang, so maybe I'll just do parts here and there and wait for us to reach, I think, the 25,000 subscriber milestone for us to do the twin turbo build. So that's kind of what I have in mind. I don't really want to do things that I set for milestones ahead of time, but, you know, I am reaching out to people and whatnot, trying to figure out who could actually do the twin turbo build, because I've contacted shops before when I was thinking about a single turbo build on the Mustang, and a lot of shops did not want to touch the car because they don't actually do like full builds. They maybe do repair work or maintenance or whatever, so they didn't want to do something that huge of a project, I guess. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm not sure who would do the build, so that would be a search within itself, but I kind of do want to do maybe some of the groundwork on the back end of figuring out who would do it, and then we'll just wait until the milestone hits, and then I could order the bolt-on kit and, you know, have the car dropped off at whatever shop to have the build pretty much start right away. That's where we're at. I am very appreciative of all the new subscribers and people watching. You know, the channel continues to grow on YouTube as well as TikTok and Facebook and kind of everywhere actually, but, you know, very appreciative for everybody's ongoing support. As you guys could see, I decided to actually put them up over here instead of the other wall, and I think it came out pretty good. I'm thinking about potentially removing it off the wall and actually taping all 4 pieces together on the back side. That way I could just pin the 4 corners and it'll stick on the wall. But for right now, I think it looks pretty good, pretty badass. And I will say that Ferrari cost more than I thought it would, so that was a bit surprising. As you guys know, been waiting for an update on the personalized plates for the C55 and the Lamborghini for a while, and I pretty much explained previously that I didn't expect for the Lamborghini ones to come in because I ended up seeing this video on YouTube and it was California plates that also said Revenge, and as I mentioned, they will basically let you order plates, but if it's too close to an existing plate, you'll get a letter denying the plates. So that's what I thought would happen for the Lamborghini one. The C55, as you guys know, I don't own anymore, so I thought that would probably get rejected as well. And this is the rejection for the Mercedes-Benz. Basically, it explains that I no longer own the car based on what they pulled up by running the license plates. And they have a form inside, I guess, for the new owner if they chose to basically take on the plates. And that's not happening, so I guess there goes the innocent plates that I had ordered several months back.